This segment brought to you by Bravo Company USA. Hey gang, Larry Vickers here, Vickers Tactical Channel. I'm at the Take Aim Range in Pageland, South Carolina, and I got my buddy Jonathan Babb from Sienna Armory here, and he's brought us two AA-12s to enjoy. Jonathan, take it away.
So the AA-12 fully auto shotgun is one of the most sought after but rarest machine guns in the NFA world. There are very, very few of these in private hands in the US, and there's also a very limited number that actually made it into military contracts, but overseas contracts. The United Arab Emirates, India, and Saudi Arabia are really the only three countries that took these. So this is a magazine-fed, gas-operated, open bolt, full auto shotgun.
12 gauge.
12 gauge.
Okay. Now, a couple things. You basically said it's kind of an overgrown Uzi.
It is basically an overgrown Uzi. It's an open bolt system, which is very rare to find in a shotgun and very rare to find in modern machine guns, say for like the M249 or the M240. And there is virtually no recoil with these things. When we took it apart the other day, the recoil spring's roughly 5 foot long. You have a heavier gauge recoil spring towards bottoming out. It's a lot like an Ultimax. It's a lot like the Ultimax that Jim Sullivan designed, where the bolt never really bottoms out.
It never hits the rear of the receiver. You don't get that collapse effect.
Correct. So you're not really getting any kick. And like you saw when we shot it and when you saw videos of me shooting it, the only real recoil is actually going forward if you fire it and the bolt slams forward on an empty chamber.
That bolt mass going jumping
Correct.
forward. Now, you have two models here. What are these?
So this is what's called the Gen 2 standard model. The original guns that were designed in the 70s, there was over 200 changes made to the original gun before there was actually a viable production model. This is the Gen 2 model. This is the most recent. It's a 15.5-inch barrel. The A-frame sights were actually characteristic for the original gun. The Gen 2 model eliminated those A-frame fixed sights and opted for a fixed Picatinny rail for an optic.
You know, we put that micro on there this morning, and one thing we figured out, you need a micro with the standard factory base. You don't want an optic like Aimpoint or whatnot that has an additional riser, because it already has a riser built in.
Correct. So on a standard AR-15, you need a riser for a direct mount. This is going to be a direct mount to the Picatinny rail, and it's going to be about the same sight height as these A-frame sights. So that's just part of the system. That's just part of the riser system. It's a lot like, if you look at the profile of those, it's a lot like an AR-15, the height of the sights and where they sit.
Now, stainless?
Stainless steel, fully stainless steel welded construction. This is basically the body, the skeleton of the AA-12 internally. Fully stainless steel, welded, and you have what are called, I call them skins. We call them stock, skins, what have you. But you have two heavy polymer skins that basically peel off, and all those really do is protect the user's, operator's hands from moving parts. Inside you have a fully stainless steel skeleton, and that was designed that way from the beginning to mitigate rust, to mitigate any breakages, to mitigate anything like that. This is about the hardiest you can get for a machine gun.
Now, next question, cyclic rate of fire?
The cyclic rate is going to be a lot like a grease gun, an M3A1 or M3 grease gun. On the standard model, it's going to be about 350 to 400 rounds per minute. The gas system on the standard model keeps it about 350 to 400. The gas system on the CQB, because of the shorter barrel, had to be opened up. So this one runs about anywhere from 500 to 600 RPM. What that also depends on is the type of ammo that you're using. So the AA-12 was designed around cheap Walmart style white box birdshot, so they could run it on cheap stuff. And then as you introduce higher grade, higher gas ammo into the system, the rate of fire is going to start picking up. So you can run this one with birdshot. It'll just kind of chug along, no problems. You put buckshot into it, the rate of fire is going to pick up. The rate of fire on this CQB is going to be anywhere from 500 to 600 RPM with birdshot. You put buckshot in, it's going to pick up to about 650, 700. So it all depends on the quality of ammunition you're using based off of the gas system that's in the system.
Okay, talk me through the ammunition feed devices for this thing.
So you've got a 20 round drum and you've got an 8-round box magazine. So it's a trade-off here. You can either have 20 rounds of 12 gauge in a bulky, heavy to carry drum, as you know, or you can have 8 rounds of 12 gauge in a very slender, very easy to carry box system. And if you think about it, you've got all that firepower in that little box as you would something like a Remington 870 or a Benelli M4, all in that little box. And it's just throwing it in the system, racking it, and going to town.
Well, we're fixing to light it up. I'm looking forward to it. Special thanks to Sailor and Balot for sending ammo for us to enjoy the AA-12. Coming at you.